Hey, and welcome to the Lean Girl YouTube channel, your one-stop shop for all of your low-calorie, high-protein recipes that are super delicious and that are going to eliminate the need for willpower all the way to those lean body goals. I am super pumped about today's recipe. It is going to be a Lean Girl high-protein cookie dough. My girls, let me tell you about cookie dough. Me and cookie dough are like this, okay? I love a good cookie dough since I was, I'm choking up, no. So, since I was a kid, okay, my favorite thing ever, which I'm sure you guys, let me know in the comments if this is you too, like the best thing ever is to eat some of the leftover dough when you're baking something. Like that little bit that's left in the dish. You know, if you are making cookies, just eat a bit of that dough, so damn good. But obviously we know it is normally made with sugar and butter and all that good stuff. Today we are going to be making a Lean Girl version that is high protein, that is lower in calories, and that is also just as super delicious as the original. So the recipe today, you might be a little bit shocked on the main ingredient, okay? Before we even get into the ingredients, by the way, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna give you a moment to do it, to make it happen. This is for you, it's not for me, okay? It's also for me, because I would love to get you to all subscribe to my channel so that I can bring you even more amazing Lean Girl recipes. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it, hit this video with a like, please, it helps my channel, and then I'll get into the recipe. Okay, you did it, thank you. Okay, so the first ingredient that we're gonna be using today is probably gonna shock you. And it's one that I actually don't like on a normal day. And that ingredient is beans. I don't like beans. Like, I've tried, they're really good for you, they're super nutritious, but there's something about beans that I just cannot get past. But today, they are the hero of the show and you're not even gonna know that they exist. You're not even gonna know that they're in there. And this is coming from someone who does not like beans. So, you gotta trust me on this one. So, the beans that you can use for this recipe are, the thing is the texture here. It has the same texture as cookie dough. And when we add other ingredients and blitz it all up, you're not even gonna know that they're there. So, we're gonna use any white bean today. One of the lowest calorie ones is cannellini beans. So I've got a tin of cannellini beans which I have drained. You can also use butter beans, which is also another white bean. Another option is chickpeas, but chickpeas do have higher calories, although they do have a bit more protein, still higher in calories. And for this recipe, we want to keep it obviously as low in calories as possible. So we are going to go ahead, I've already opened this tin and I have gone ahead and drained my beans and rinsed them. So you want to add some water in here and rinse them. We don't want any of the brine left over. And so this I think is 240 grams of beans. And so we're going to add this straight to a NutriBullet container. I probably could have drained that a tiny bit better, okay? Okay, so that is going to be our first ingredient that we are going to add. Then I'm going to grab my trusty scale. And then the second thing that I want you to go ahead and add is we're gonna add some, no, we're not doing the oats just yet. What are we doing? Okay, let me do the sweetener first. So of course, we want this to be sweet. So I'm gonna be adding 3 sachets of sweetener. We're also gonna be adding some protein powder, which will help with the sweetness. Depending on how sweet your protein powder is, you may need more or less sweetener, and also depending on your own personal preference for like sweetness or not so sweet. Okay, so I added 3. Guys, I do have a sweet tooth, so it is up to you as well. Then I'm also going to go ahead for some extra sweetness, but also a bit of flavor, is I'm going to add some sugar-free syrup. Now, you can either use this one, which is Lean Gourmet. This is from Dischem. And then I've also got my Walden's Farm, but this I like Preciously Protect. So in baking, if you've bought this one, I'm not obsessed with it for just pouring over pancakes, but in baking it works pretty well. So you want to add 2 tablespoons, I'm just going to do a rough measure, of your sugar-free syrup. Then we are going to go ahead with some vanilla essence. So this gives it that delicious cake batter. I mean, all baked goods basically have vanilla essence in it. So this is really going to bring out that delicious cookie dough flavor. So we're going to go in with a teaspoon of cookie dough. of cookie dough, a teaspoon of vanilla essence in there. Then, very important guys, you want to add some salt. The salt brings in the flavor, so about half a teaspoon of salt. Trust me, it's not going to be salty, it's just going to actually bring out the sweetness. And then another ingredient which I have not laid out yet. Let me get my protein powder. Okay, so now this obviously is going to be a high protein cookie dough, which means that it's not only going to be low in calories, but it also is going to be helping you reach your protein goal and keep you fuller for a lot longer. That is one thing about this recipe. So you guys know I'm all about the high volume and like the bigger the better, but this is pretty rich and you actually only need a small amount. And it's super good. So I'm actually going to be using 1 scoop of protein here, which is about 30 grams, by the way. This scoop is actually a bit bigger. I've weighed it out before. So let me just check. 30 grams. Now this is caramel that I'm using. This is the MetaLab protein powder you guys know I'm obsessed with. I do have a code. Oh, this is stopped. Okay, my lovely girls, as I went to fetch my protein powder, my battery also ran out, but thankfully I had another one that was actually charging. The joys of sharing my camera with Gilan. He like uses it and then does not charge it. I don't know if he's gonna get any of this cookie dough. But anyway, as I was saying, we're gonna use 30 grams of caramel or vanilla protein powder. This is my MetaLab, which you guys know is my favorite. 15, Lean Girl 15 to get 15% off if you guys do want to try it out. Definitely one of the best tasting. Important, you obviously want to use something that tastes good. Otherwise, everything you use to bake with, it's not going to taste good. So we're going in with 30 grams of protein powder, and that was about perfect. And then we are going to also add some peanut butter to this. So I'm going to be using 20 grams of peanut butter for this. So here's a little trick. You put your peanut butter on, and if you scoop it out, it will actually make it a negative. So 20 grams of peanut butter. This just adds like that extra nutty, delicious flavor that you'll find in cookie dough. Because we're not using butter and sugar, you do need something to add a bit of richness, and the peanut butter does the trick. Okay, let me check that we've added all of our ingredients. Yes, we have. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my NutriBullet top. The one that I'm using today is actually different to the tall spinning blades. It's this one which does more of like a whipping action, and that's what we want. So I'm also gonna add just the smallest touch of water, because you do need this to get going so it actually blends. Like, I don't know if you've tried to blend stuff that's dry in your NutriBullet, but basically it doesn't work. It just kind of like spins and nothing really happens. So add the tiniest bit of water. You don't want to add too much water, because if you add too much, there's no going back, okay? So smallest bit of water. I'm going to blend it up, and you may need to take it out and actually spoon it around a little bit. If you have a food processor, the one that's like the big Perspex one with a blade in it, that sometimes works a bit better than the NutriBullet, but I actually don't have one of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this with my NutriBullet. I'm gonna blend it up, and then I will be back in a sec. Okay, so that was pretty simple. And so now you're gonna have this this thick cookie dough like, I mean, it already tastes so good. You guys are going to be obsessed. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to add some oats to this. The reason why is cookie dough normally has like a little bit of texture, right? So we don't want it to be completely smooth. We want it to have a little bit of oomph. And so we're going to add 40 grams of instant oats. So you want it to be the more like finer oats. You don't want the really big chunks in here. So instant oats will do the trick. Did I show it? And we're gonna add 40 grams of instant oats. Ooh. Almost too much. And then you are gonna grab a spoon, and you are just gonna give it all a good stir. And this is gonna make it even thicker. I promise you guys, you are not gonna taste a bean. Like, I'm so chuffed with this because, I mean, the beans give it so much volume and the perfect texture. And I mean, we're adding veggies, like winning on all fronts. Okay, so now we wanna add something that has a little bit of texture to add some little gorgeous bits in between our cookie dough, right? So I love the cookie dough flavor, as I've mentioned, and Grenade actually has a chocolate cookie dough protein bar. You guys know that these are my favorite protein bars of all time. Basically tastes like a chocolate, but packed with protein. And so I thought that these would be perfect to chop up and add into our thick, glorious cookie dough to just add some extra protein and some lovely little crispy, crunchy bits inside. And so you guys know that every single month I do Lean Girl's favorite thing giveaway. So this box, okay, so you can make this glorious recipe and of course have lots of delicious snacks too. I'm going to be giving away in my next Lean Girl's favorite things the chocolate cookie dough flavor, which is one of my favorites, so that you can make this delicious cookie dough and add your delicious bites in it as well. By the way, I'm not opening this box because it belongs to one of you guys, so look out on my Instagram on how to enter to win. So the ones that I did have that was the box that was already open. I'm actually going to use here the white chocolate cookie, which is also one of my favorites. Like guys, this tastes like a Milky Bar. If you're into white chocolate, do yourself a favor, the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my board, and what I'm just going to use half of the bar because you don't need many little chunks. You can actually just use half, and of course depending on how many calories you have left, you could add more if you want, but I'd rather add this than normal chocolate chips because we're getting an extra 10 grams of protein. So I'm going to cut it 3 ways down, and then I'm going to just cut it into small pieces as if we were making chocolate chips, but protein chips. Cut them even smaller if you want. You can really get some nice little pieces so that every bite that we have has some wonderful, and there's even like caramel inside. But I mean, if we use the cookie dough, cookie dough flavor, we're having cookie dough on cookie dough. Let me tell you a little secret. I used to be an au pair in America, okay, and they used to have this Ben & Jerry's ice cream that had these big cookie dough, like little round things in it, like big clumps of cookie dough. And when I was having like a bad day, I would go and get the ice cream out of the fridge. But like, I'm not a huge ice cream fan, but I just used to eat out all the cookie doughs, like, and basically all that was left was the vanilla ice cream. Like, I wonder if they know. Hi Mr. and Mrs. Soda. Hope you're not watching this. I wasn't the greatest au pair, guys. Anyway, so now what you want to do is you just want to add in some of your chunks. I'm actually going to leave a few so that I can add it to the top. And I actually just want you to get a load of the cookie dough texture. Like, it is ridiculous, guys. It is so good. So as you can see, this is like quite a huge portion, so I'd recommend that you split this into 2 or 3 portions. The calories that I'm going to put up on screen are going to be dividing this into 3 portions. I think it's just over 200 calories, and then depending on what little additions you want to add, obviously we would need to add those calories too. So I'm going to grab a little ramekin that I have, and I'm going to dish up about 1/3 of this mixture. So darn good. Whoa. Okay. Then on top, I'm gonna add a few little extra pieces of peanut butter and of protein bar. And then what you want to do is you want to refrigerate this. So the more you refrigerate it, the thicker and more doughy it becomes. Just want to show you guys this. So freaking good. The more cookie doughy and thicker it gets. So pop this in the fridge. Before you try it, I mean, I feel like I've already done 10 taste tests because I've already eaten like a million spoons, but let me just show you guys, like, I don't know if you can actually see like the texture of this. You basically feel like you're eating like 100 times what would be left in a bowl. So it's really rich, but so delicious and so filling, so packed with protein. Like, imagine that you can eat your favorite cookie dough and reach all of those lean bar goals. Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. And guess what? It's beans. Mr. Bean. Basically all beans, all veggies. We are winning, my girls. So there you have it for my Lean Girl, a high protein, low calorie cookie dough. I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe. Don't forget that this one plus all of my other lean girl recipes can be found inside my Lean Girl Kitchen Coach. That's my ultimate recipe hub with all of my recipes. I've also got amazing restaurant hacks in there. So what are the best choices at your favorite local South African restaurants? Convenience meals, where when you're going to Woolies and you need to grab something on the go, what's the best options? So many tools that you need to help you to make everything effortless, make all of your meal choices really easy, help with meal planning. You will never have to think again, what should I be having for lunch? Ange has got you covered. So if you haven't yet checked that out, check it out. Enjoy making your delicious cookie dough. And please don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I love to see all of your glorious creations. And that's it from me. Give this video a thumbs up, don't forget, and I will see you in my next video here on the Lean Girl YouTube channel. Mwah. It's the dough of the cookie. It's beans and cookies. Galan's not getting any of this because he didn't charge the camera. Almost made me fail my whole video.